Hi, my name is Mrs. Zatzke. I'll be your science teacher in EVA for trimester 2. I just wanted to reconnect with my current students and then also connect with new families if you guys are new to EVA and you're going to be in science with me. So I have a website that I sent to you with this video, and it is here just to show you there is a letter in the beginning just to give you an idea of what I am doing, but I will be explaining that in this video as well. I have a couple of tabs on my website. If you are in 7th grade science, you can go to this tab here, and I do have my old back to school night information. If you have any questions, you can access that. It is pretty helpful. There are a few things that have changed a tiny bit from when I made those videos, but really not a lot. And then I have this calendar here. The calendar is a general public calendar. It does not have the links to the live meetings, but it does have the times that we're meeting. So if this is helpful to you as a parent or even as a student and you want to set up any notifications so you don't miss class, each day you can subscribe to this. Down here where it says Google Calendar with the plus, you can subscribe to this calendar. Any public person can subscribe. This does not give out any information other than times of our classes and which class is meeting when. So this is very helpful information. I also have the distance learning daily schedule. We will be following the same schedule we did for trimester 1, whether you were in distance learning or in EVA. So we will be following the same schedule. So on Monday, we'll be meeting starting at 8 a.m. for period 1, and then on the hour until noon. Noon is lunch. And then after that, periods 5 and 6 will end on the half hour, or will start on the half hour. If your student ever needs support or is confused or wants to connect one-on-one with me or in a small group, you can always stay during asynchronous learning time after the call. I do stay on the call if there are students that want to stay on with me. If nobody is staying on, then I will log off the call. So I am available for students during asynchronous learning time. It just may be asynchronous support. So how to log in to Clever. So I'll talk about Clever as well. So this is a good breakdown. This is 7th grade science. 8th grade science website is, subpage is exactly the same as that, except this is the 8th grade science calendar. So you're going to want to subscribe to that if you're a parent, or even if you're a student and you want to maybe set alarms that align with the class schedule. So this is the same. Down here at the bottom is resources and links. So if you need to access PowerSchool, Clever, Google Classroom, you can go there. We also have a Virtual Academy, Parent Handbook, and Support Hub. And then we also have some school information. If you are an Olympus student or a Cabot student, that is there, or just the general district information. The general district information will also take you to the technology tickets. If you have any technology needs, you can email me and ask me, and I can direct you, or you can ask directly from Eureka Union School District. If you have exploratory with me, it is now going to be an enrichment and support class. So that will be described on the first few days of school to you, and it will evolve throughout the trimester. So we have a Google Classroom that is dedicated to exploratory enrichments that students will be assigned and that are not required and won't be graded, but do supplement our curriculum and engage students so that they have the opportunity for enrichment. So exploratory for my students will not look the same as it did first trimester. So just a heads up on that. If you have any questions about me, who I am, because I am going to be your student's teacher, I have information here just about me, about my educational history, and a little bit about me. Some interesting facts that students always find out on this page is that I do live on a small farm, and I have alpacas, I have goats, pygmy goats, and I have a couple of very tiny dogs. that sometimes appear in our classes. So that's something kind of fun. I did include a picture of me in 8th grade, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a connection there, because I also was an 8th grader or 7th grader at one point in my life. Same thing, resources and links here at the bottom. If you need just a direct link to the junior high schedule, I have it here. You can bookmark this if you would like, if you don't know the schedule. For me personally, I printed it so that I have it on hand. It is very helpful to just have that. Down here at the back, I have the useful links and login instructions. I do have a YouTube channel that you can access. I mostly use this to post unlisted videos, which are videos that I link directly to my students to watch. Otherwise, I do keep very long playlists. And so this is going to be a great hub for your student if they're struggling with content knowledge, and the ability to connect skills to content knowledge, because that's kind of how my class is broken up, is into skills 40%, content knowledge 40%, and then engagement and participation is 20%, which just means, does your student do the work, participate, speak, interact with others during class? So that is, and that 20% really is a part of the grade that shows what we would be doing in class, right? So we would be in class doing labs and collaborating and thinking like scientists who collaborate, not mad scientists who think by themselves and hide. So that's one of the things I talk about. I do have the parent tutorials here again for you, and then I also have the login instructions for Clever, okay? So my students use Clever to access their curriculum. We do not have physical textbooks for our science curriculum this year. It's a wonderful resource, and it's accessible from anywhere at any time, and we're very excited to offer it to you this year. So clever.com, you will go in here, you click clever.com, and once you are enrolled in my class, and they think the migration will be finished by November 10th. So please just be patient. If you don't see that my page is there yet, that just means you haven't been enrolled yet in Clever migrated over. So once you're migrated over, it should sync up, and then TCI should also sync up to put you in my classes. So if you're having any issues with this, please be patient. After the first week of trimester 2, we can reconnect and see if everybody's uploaded. So in here, we have this link, and you just click on TCI, and this is my science page. So it's under Classroom Essentials. And that'll take you to either 7th grade integrated science or 8th grade integrated science. So whatever program your child or student is enrolled in, this is what you'll see. So what's kind of nice is if you go through this content tab, anything that has a green dot is what your student sees or what you will see. So if you click on this content tab here, you will see the content that we're going to be covering. And so we have covered Unit 1 and a little bit of Unit 2 in 8th grade. So looking forward, you can check out Units 3 and 4 and 5, okay, and maybe 6 we'll be doing in 2nd trimester for 8th grade. And again, this is a new year, a new program, so we're kind of figuring it out as we go along. For 7th grade in this content here, 7th grade integrated, we did finish Unit 1, which is the composition of matter, and then we are moving forward into Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, and we are hoping to get through Unit 5 and Unit 6 hopefully around the time that 2nd trimester ends. So if you would like to preview these units, you have access to this through your student's account. In Clever, all you have to do, these are the instructions here, but you would log in, making sure that you have our school code, and then you would have your username and password. So ask your student what their password is, and you can take a look at our program content. So what students use on here are the assignments up here at the top. They also use investigation lesson slides. On my screen here, it says lesson guides, but on student screens, it says lesson slides. And these are the slideshows that guide us through investigations, which go in our investigation notebook, which is the next icon down here on the left-hand side. So In the investigation notebook, your student answers questions in relationship to discussions or activities that we do in the lesson slides for the investigations. Your student will also have this link called Text with Notes. This is our textbook. So if you're curious what we're doing, if I say we're learning lesson 4 right now, then you're going to go into Text with Notes and you'll click on lesson 4. And in lesson 4, your student will have access to everything in here. So if we take a look at lesson 4, Capturing the Sun's Energy, your student, this is for 7th grade, your student would read this information. This is where they find it. And then they can go to each section, and I may assign what are called the notes questions. And your student will read the section. So this next section is about plant photosynthesis, okay? And so down here, we have a couple of questions that your student needs to answer. These questions are auto-saved in TCI. I have taught students to take a screenshot to make sure that their work is guaranteed safe, so they don't have to do it again in case it doesn't save. Sometimes in this digital world, we have internet that falls down or isn't connecting properly at the time, and for some reason it doesn't save in TCI. So I do encourage your student, as soon as they answer 1 or 2 questions, to take a screenshot, hold on to it for about a week or 2, maybe in a saved folder on their computer or in their Google Drive, so that in case I go through and I say, oh, you don't have any answers there, they can say, nope, I did it, it just didn't save. And then they can send me those screenshots of when they originally completed the work. We also have the lesson games here, and we have the vocabulary cards. So the lesson game is a practice test, and this is a great way for your student to answer a question and see how they did. So if I click a random answer, it'll tell me it's not right. And then if I try it again, it'll tell me if I'm right. And if I got it right the second time, it'll give me a half point. If I got it right the first time, I will get 1 full point. I do ask to get credit on these, that students earn at least 10 out of 21 points. There are 20 questions and a bonus question at the very end. Vocabulary cards are pre-made flashcards for your student. So they can go in here and study these. Whatever works for your students' learning is fine with me. So if they want to make real flashcards, they can do that. I do ask that they write vocabulary in their science spiral notebook, which I will get to shortly. So assessments is the tab where your student can take a look at their test and their scores and see how they did. So you won't see this screen. You'll just see if your student took a test and the questions. You can click on it to take a look at the test and see what questions they got right or wrong. So this will be available after we take a test. While we take tests, I do turn this feature off. And then when we take tests, I turn it back on. So if you are having trouble seeing your students' assessments, just let me know and I can turn that back on. So going back, so that's TCI. This is our curriculum. What I do is I grade it. I grade the TCI work in TCI, but I don't put any grades on there. So you will see this tab that says grades, but I am not going to put any scores into TCI. The place where I will put scores is Google Classroom. So in Google Classroom, we have each class. So I have already set up these Google Classrooms, but I don't want to click on them because I don't want you to see the join codes. So, but you would be in either period 6, period 5, period 4, period 3, or period 2 with me. And I did make this demo class so you guys could see. I also have a enrichment hub here that if you're in exploratory, you will be adding yourself to that class through any teacher that you have for exploratory this trimester. So I'm going to click on this demo class. This class code, please don't add yourself to this class because it's not going to be helpful to you. But this is the demo class, and what I did in here is I made an assignment and I showed you the different features. So as a student, you're only going to have Stream and Classwork available to you. You don't have people and grades. So under Stream, you're going to see the current work, and it's kind of just like a social media stream where at the top, it breaks it down, and at the beginning it'll say something and then you go down and it gets further and further away from the current date. So the most recent posts are at the top. I usually have my posts come up about 5 minutes before class meets so that students can go on there and see what they need to be ready for in class. Under the Classwork tab, you're going to see several different topics. So you'll see a week and a week and a week. And right here where this Create tab is where you as a student, which I'm not able to see, are going to have a tab that says View Your Work. And that tab is very important to you as a parent and as a student. So you're going to click on that tab that says View Your Work. And then in there, there's going to be several options. It'll say all, missing, assigned, and returned. Returned work is work that I have looked at, I have graded, and I have sent you feedback on. So you're going to want to check that out throughout the trimester, week by week. Usually I will update you guys and tell you when you should check your returned work. So basically that's graded work. You as a parent, if you look at missing or assigned work, it's not super helpful because your student decides when they turn work in, and it may or may not actually be finished. So I learned this myself as a parent with my own children, to instead of going in to check if work is missing, what I learned to do is click on each individual assignment, make sure it's actually done, talk about it with my student, and then go from there, and also check the returned work. Any of the returned work can be done for credit within that month. So for the month of November work will have a certain due date, December work will have a certain due date, and January work will have a certain due date. And this is a change from first trimester for those of you who are in my class last trimester, but this should be very helpful to keep on top of your work for each month. Let's open up this tab here. So this is just an example post. So if I open this up and I say view assignment, it'll say instructions. And under the instructions, it tells me how many points it's worth, when it's due, when it was assigned. So this is the post for Saturday. And I have two sections. Usually the first says synchronous, and this is what we will do during synchronous learning time. It's good to have this open during class so you can follow along. It's kind of like an agenda. So we do follow this, and I do put detailed instructions there for your students. So, so that whether they have a good connection or not, they can still get access to the synchronous learning curriculum. During asynchronous, I will put a time on there, typically between 15 and 20 minutes of work. And it says this is what you will do during asynchronous learning time. Often this is extra time to finish what we started in class, which is often very true. Or it can be something different, something as an extension, watching a video, doing a flip grid, something like that. So be sure to read what needs to be done by the end of the day. Down here at the bottom, I have a couple of stars. This is usually like a special announcement. So clicking turn in here means that the student has decided the work is done, and the teacher doesn't have a way to verify if the work was actually done. So just make sure that you understand that for there. I am going to add a section for those of you that were in my class last trimester that's called To Turn In Today. And this will be a list of items that you need to make sure to turn in before the end of asynchronous learning time. And I will try to keep it short and sweet and to the point. It will be a succinct list, okay? This is the list that you should copy into your daily planner. So I do recommend that every person has their own daily planner. I use one to help keep track of each day. So this is each month. And then each day I have on here just a list, a space to write things down. Now mine are very small because I have one per class. So I actually have 2 planners and I have 2 more behind me. So if you get just a large planner, it's really helpful. If you don't want to do a planner and you just want to do a piece of paper a day, that works as well. I just recommend keeping it in a folder or a binder so that you can reference it later and say, what did I do on Wednesday? What was due that day? Okay. So down here at the bottom, you will see a couple of links or lists. So here's the link to my website, and here's the link to this document called the Trimester 2 list. And I couldn't think of a better name. But this is a list that I've included on your email, and it just covers some of the supplies that I recommend for class each day. So your student should come to class with a pencil and eraser ready to go. Okay, this is what I recommend. Pencil eraser. And their science spiral notebook. And if your student doesn't have one already, it's a simple 100-page spiral notebook. So this is the one I have for 7th grade. This is the one I have for 8th grade. Okay, and it's college ruled, so it has small lines, 33 lines per page, and this is where we take notes. So we take notes on our reading, we take notes on our labs, okay? And I do post my notes to help your student reference them so that they get an idea of what we're looking for when they take notes and modeling good note taking. Your student may already be great at taking notes, and so mine are only an example, not a requirement. So your student does not have to take notes just like me. Your fully charged device, which would be a laptop or a Chromebook with reliable Wi-Fi. Please make sure that your student has reliable Wi-Fi to use as much as you can. I completely understand under these conditions that it's hard to get reliable Wi-Fi each day, but if you could do your absolute best to come up with different options. If your student is having trouble connecting using a computer, please email me and request the phone number so they can phone in to any meeting that we're having live. It really, really helps to hear everything that's being said in the class, even if your student can't connect with a device with video. So please let me know if that's something your student would be interested in. It has worked very well with a few of my students this first trimester. Some preferred items to have on hand, and you don't have to have them every day, but just on hand, a metric ruler, okay? So on this metric ruler, it's too bright. We have inches and centimeters. This is a 12-inch ruler, and I have a 6-inch ruler as well, whichever one works for you. I have a lot of rulers because I was a geologist in a past life and I did a lot of drafting. So that's that. A simple calculator, okay, any style. I like these types of calculators better than scientific calculators, better than graphing calculators, because they just get the job done simply. If you push a weird button, nothing happens, okay? Sticky notes are recommended, okay? Sticky notes are my best friend. I write sticky notes all the time to remind myself little things here and there. I put them in my planner. I put them in my notebook. I put them all over my computer. They're very helpful, okay? And they're colorful, so why not? Your planner, I talked about that. Headphones and a mouse are really helpful. I bought myself this wireless mouse. You don't need anything this fancy. You could get a plug-in one. It is so helpful and so less fatiguing than clicking on that little trackpad on your wrists and hands. So again, recommendation, not a requirement. Headphones you can get over the ear, or you can just use the little earbuds, whatever works. I just use the plug-in earbuds because AirPods are not, to me, they're not reliable. They connect to whatever's in the room. So your learning station, I do recommend, is free from distractions. Try to sit at a desk or a table or and sit in a chair of some sort. My chair is super squeaky, but it's still a chair. You can stand. You can put your device on a dresser if you like to stand, whatever works for you. But really try to think about your background. For me, I am against a wall right now, and my desk is sitting in the middle of a room. So also for my children, I kind of turn their desks to a corner of their room so that they have a background. And actually, my son did a drawing of this. I could show you guys. But right here, this is what my son drew. Your room could be a disaster, right? But then right here where you're sitting could be beautiful and sparkling clean. So this is a really good suggestion of how to set up where your student learns. Now, I know this is not possible for all families. I know that sometimes we have students learning in the kitchen with multiple people because of the way Wi-Fi works. That is totally fine. I'm just trying to limit anything in a background that could be distracting, like a door, because people can walk in and out, a couch, a bed. A bed is a really tempting place for kids to just go lay down during class, and I don't recommend that because it's hard for them to pay attention if they're snuggled up in bed. So for trimester 2, it's going to be winter. If you're going to be cold, grab a blanket, wrap yourself up. I can't see you anyway. Put on your jammy pants and get in class, turn your camera on and engage with me, okay? On your device, I just have simple advice here. And then other daily reminders, just really simple things. And I know many of you parents are doing this already for your students, and I really appreciate it. Students, you can also take this on. Eat breakfast, drink water, sit up, unmute occasionally during class so that I know you're there. I really like human interaction. This is literally my profession. Eat lunch when we have a lunch break. And don't go online all the time. So in your break, you're like, oh, I can get a few minutes of video games in. Please try to limit that. Try not to do it. Take a break, take a little nap, turn on an alarm, listen to some music, talk to another person in your household, take screen breaks. Okay, so please take this advice. We don't want you to get screen fatigued. We are going into our second full trimester of distance learning or online learning. I really want this to be sustainable for you as a learner. And so this is just my daily reminder list of things that I strongly recommend that you do to keep yourself healthy physically and mentally during this time. Okay, so I think that's it that I wanted to cover for my class. I'm super excited to have you. I really, really want to be able to connect with you during class. I am available via email. I do have a lot of students this trimester, so please be patient when you send me an email. But if it seems like I've forgotten, please send an email again. The one thing that I do want to make sure you know about is submissions for late work will take me a little while to process because it takes me a while to get it checked and then get it fixed onto Google Classroom in your returned work. And then once it's fixed there, I need to fix it on PowerSchool. Okay, so parents and students, the best place to check your work and your progress is Google Classroom in the returned work. Second best place is PowerSchool. And that is it. This is a really long video, but I hope it's helpful for those of you who are new. Bye. I don't know what